information war of the new millennium, the first shots have already been fired.
Who is the net warrior? He is every man and every woman.
And the net warriors might be just one click away from a virtual revolution.
Groups of nation-states are not going to be able to close out civil society actors and should stop trying.
Words as war, not words for war. That's hacktivism.
If somebody is denying your free speech in the real world, if somebody is abusing your human rights in the real world, then you should be able to take a comparable action on the internet.
Now you can sit halfway around the world and shut down a company's ability to operate by clicking a couple buttons.
The Battle of Seattle was a coming out party for the anti-globalisation movement. But the untold story of Seattle is that while 50,000 protesters took to the streets, a much bigger protest was happening out in cyberspace.
The New York Times, after Seattle, said there's a new superpower in the world. It's called the public. And so really, we're just developing the system whereby people can express. Electric hippies don't tell them what to say. We just provide the mechanism whereby they can say something.
A virtual sit-in, masses of people using their home computers can collectively ping the website of a target corporation or institution and stop it from doing business online.
For quite a few hours during the WTO conference when we had our protest, you couldn't get to the WTO website. Your computer would endlessly wait and wait and wait for a response, and it never turned up. This isn't an action that's launched by one person cracking a computer. This takes 10,000 or 50,000 people. To make it effective, 10,000 or 50,000 across time zones to make it work. And so we say it's democratic.
You don't have to be a programmer, you don't have to be a hacker, you don't have to charge a police riot line. All you've got to do is walk into your house, boot up your computer, connect to the internet, and press a couple buttons from that tool that you just got in an email attachment. And you can take an active role, you can take a part in supporting the cause.
We should make no mistake that electronic civil disturbance does impose costs, and sometimes these are quite substantial. In the literature on this, some scholars suggest that the costs of even minor disruptions to electronic commerce run into the billions of dollars. The tactics that will be used by activists will be swarming. This is the use of advanced information technologies to engage in a kind of command and control that allows you to attack the adversary from every direction simultaneously. Quite simply, it's like the swarm of bees or mosquitoes or other insects that often overwhelm their targets. I found it interesting, looking at incidents in Quebec, that the authorities had so little confidence in their own information infrastructure. And the fact that they were so easily intimidated by the potential of information attack is a real augury of the future. Hacktivism works, and it will work even better as time goes by.
In late 1999, electro-hippies claimed more than 400,000 people joined in virtual sit-ins during the Seattle protests. The action targets the World Trade Organization's website in an attempt to damage its public relations capacity.
In rural communities across Asia, millions of farmers have been forced to abandon their farms as a result of the free trade policies advocated by the WTO. Countries across Africa have seen their industries made bankrupt by the organization's favored free trade policies, with millions of jobs lost and millions of people thrown into long-term poverty. The WTO supports the liberalization of services such as water, health and education as a key element of free trade. Yet when multinational water companies took control of public services in Latin America, prices rose so much that the poor could no longer even afford basic water to drink. And in Europe, the WTO has ruled against key public health and environmental policies, such as the ban on importing beef injected with growth hormones, even when the scientific evidence says these bans should stay in place.